Okay, good morning. This is the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council Programs and Services Committee meeting. It is Saturday, December 3rd, 2022 at 10 a.m. It is 10:04 a.m. right now, and this meeting is called to order. The first order of business is I will call roll. Melanie Bellomo.
Here.
Daisy Quinones.
Here.
Daisy, we see you. Can you hear us?
Yes. You don't hear me here?
Yes. Okay, you're here. Annalee Harr. Okay, Annalee Harr is not here or not here yet, but for quorum for the committees, it is just a majority of the rostered members. There are 4 members of this committee and 3 of us are here, so we do have quorum. First, we will go to next we will go to item 2, which is public comment on non-agenda items. So if there are any members of the public here, I don't see any right now. They do have the opportunity to comment on non-agenda items, 2 minutes per person.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
I'm not on the board. I'm just a community member who volunteers.
Right. So the beauty of these committees is that one does not need to be on the board to be on the committee.
Got it. Thank you. Okay.
I do not see any hands raised from members of the public or see any members of the public in attendance. So we'll move on to the next item, which is community and board announcements, 2 minutes per person. If there's any community and committee announcements, if there's any community members that have any announcements. I see no hands raised. If there's any members of the committee that have announcements. And I see no hands raised. Okay, next up, we're going to do a welcome and introduction to the board members. There aren't any members of the public here, but this is being recorded. So I'm Jerod Gunsberg. I'm a member of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council. I am on the board and I am the chair of the Program and Services Committee. This committee, the purpose of it is to work with the community stakeholders and work with each other to help residents and community members interface with the city services, figure out how we can get the city to work better with the community, how we can get things to be more efficient and get good communication, identify which services are needed, and also what programs we can bring to the community. It's very broad. It can be a wide variety of programs and activities to bring to the community. So that's the purpose and the aims and goals of this committee. The next thing on the item is on the agenda, A4, is a discussion and possible action on the appointment of a vice chair. I am the chair. I am a big believer that people should not be chairs of local, certainly grassroots advisory board committees for a long period of time. So I don't intend to keep this role as chair. I don't know how long yet. That's something that we'll have to figure out down the road, but I don't see it for more than a year. I think it's good to have other people involved, other people taking different roles on different committees. But we do need a vice chair. And I guess the question is there any volunteers for a vice chair? Vice chair is, in the event that I'm not here, the person would be the presiding officer of the committee. You don't have.
What are the qualifications? There you go.
The qualifications are that you are a member of the committee in good standing, and that you are willing to step in and be the presiding officer and run meetings in the event that the committee chair is unavailable. Okay, we can table that. I understand.
Melanie has a question, or she has her hand up.
Oh, you have your hand up, Melanie. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'm going
It's
back.
okay.
Yeah, jump in.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy to volunteer as vice chair for the time being. If I would love to see like a non-council member be a vice chair, but if that isn't gonna happen, I can be the vice chair for now. I'm happy to be. And again, we can table that, but if that's all.
Okay, so
I
for
don't mind
now,
stepping in. You
I'm
guys.
sorry.
I don't mind stepping in and vice chairing if I don't need to be on the board.
I think that would be
I'd be
great.
glad to
Daisy,
do
and
it.
I
I'd be
think
glad to
Melanie
do it.
and I agree. I think I agree with Melanie that I think it's important to have other people who aren't on the board, have other voices and other community members take on these roles if they can't commit to being on the board, which is understandable. So Melanie, do you have any, I guess we'll just take this to a voice vote. Motion to appoint Daisy Quinones as vice chair.
I'll second.
All right, and any comment or discussion from the community? Hang on one second. I do see some attendees. I see a call-in user and I see Fernie there. So is there any discussion from the community about this? Okay, seeing.
Do we want to confirm if they heard what we're discussing right now, just to make
Yes,
sure?
that's a good idea. What we're discussing is the vice chair position of the board. The purpose of the vice chair of the board is to be the presiding officer in the event that the chair is unavailable. The vice chair would run the meetings if the chair is unavailable. That position does not need to be a member of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council Board. And we had a discussion, if anyone missed it, that it would be preferable for a non-board member to take on a presiding officer role, a vice chair or a chair role. Daisy has graciously volunteered to be the vice chair, and now that is before a vote. Is there any more board discussion or committee discussion on this? Seeing no hands, I now move this to a vote. Melanie Bellomo?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Daisy Quinones?
Yes.
I can't vote yes. So it is unanimous. And Daisy, you are now the vice chair of the Lincoln Heights Programs and Services Committee. Thank you for volunteering. It is appreciated. All right, so now we're going to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. No, she was just saying thank you, and I'm saying thank you as well.
Okay. Yes, thank you all. That's great. All right, so we have done that. Now we are moving on to number 4B, which is a discussion and possible action on renaming the Programs and Services Committee. This is not something that we necessarily have to do today, but the idea is that Programs and Services, to my mind, sounds a little vague and unengaging, let's say. So I don't have any ideas right now of what to name it. We can discuss it if anybody has any ideas. We can kick them around right now, or we can table this. And maybe that's the best thing to do, is maybe table this with everybody to sort of keep this in mind of what they have any ideas. But if I'll open this up for discussion, if anybody has any ideas of what to call it, chime in. All right, and I don't have any ideas either. So I think what we'll do now is table it, but maybe we can keep something in mind. If we're inspired, if something strikes us, we can bring it. Yes.
I'm sorry, I keep raising my hand because I'm in like council mode, but I realize I probably should just speak. Is that?
Oh yeah, just jump in. I mean, honestly, it's just like the three of us. So yeah, I'm good. Just chime in and cut me off if I'm rambling on.
Yeah, I like that. Considering changing it, because it's very vague. Like you said, I'm not even joining the committee. I was like, what is this? But since we do have a couple community members, can we just ask if any of them have any input?
Absolutely. Is there any input from any community members on the call here? Okay, hearing no input. And again, feel free, especially, Daisy, Melanie, this is my first time running through one of these committees, so it's a little stilted. So if I neglect to throw this over to the community, it's not out of any slight, it is out of inexperience. So feel
Don't
free
worry,
to
you're doing
jump
great.
in and correct me.
You're doing great. We're
okay,
only doing the
Yeah.
good.
All right, so now, next, item C, discussion and possible action on appointing community services as lead contact and community advocate for specific city services. So I added this to the agenda as well. And here was my idea. And again, this is something else that can be an idea phase for now, maybe, unless we have concrete ideas. My idea was that part of the issue, I think, is that people don't know where to go and who to call or what information to get, even for the most basic services. There is the 311 app, which, the 311 app is an app that is available, on any computer or mobile device, where you can request various things from the city: sanitation, animal control, any DWP issues, a wide variety of issues. I am also cognitive and aware, as we all are, that not everybody has in the community has access to 311 or doesn't have access to phones where they can use 311. Or if they have it, they don't even understand really what these services are or what services to utilize. So my idea was that hopefully we can get this committee to grow, or maybe this is something we could even take to the board at some point, where people would volunteer to be the point person for various services in the city and community. For example, somebody can become a citizen expert on how to navigate the sanitation department for issues. Somebody can become an expert on public safety, on animal control. We can come up with a wide variety of things. Again, this is the first meeting. This is just an idea, but I do think this goes to helping get people invested and the community relying on each other and utilizing our own resources here in Lincoln Heights, rather than having to just sort through this. So again, the idea is that I'm just using sanitation as an example. I don't have a fixation on it. It's just what's coming to my head. That sanitation, if there's these sanitation issues that people don't really know how to navigate, we could have somebody from the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, from the Programs and Services Committee, that could be the person to contact to help navigate, give advice, and help point people in the right direction. So again, this is something we can table till the next time, but are there any community members that have any thoughts on this plan?
I like that idea, Jerod.
Okay.
Because it's true, we do have services. The purpose of this program, I think, program and services, is that like we do have services available to us and we're just not aware of them. Like, for example, right now that you're talking about and using sanitation, the sanitation department, as an example, like really, like I had to call them once so that they can pick up a dead animal.
Daisy, I'm so sorry, you're breaking up a little bit here.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks because I am just obviously having poor reception then. I like your idea. I'll keep it simple. I think your idea is a good idea.
I'm sorry, Daisy, I missed that. Is there a way you can get a better connection?
You know what?
I
can hear Daisy perfectly. I don't, so.
Oh, it might be me.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. Hold on. I'm sorry, Daisy, you can repeat that one more time.
Oh, I can try to. Okay, so like right now that you were using sanitation as an example, I think like and like even breaking down other services that are available to our community and have members get involved to further look into them so that they can bring back information and details on those services. I think what would be helpful, because for example, I had to call sanitation to pick up a dead cat
All right.
And when they got there,
It's interesting because I can hear Melanie, but I can't hear Daisy, and I'm not sure why that is. But Melanie can hear Daisy, so I'm a little confused.
Sometimes, Daisy, I don't know if you're on your Bluetooth, but sometimes when I'm in the meetings and I have my AirPod in, some council members can't hear me well. So maybe that has something to do with it. Just a guess.
probably because I'm like on Bluetooth. Actually, I'm not on the device on my earpod.
Okay, I could just hear you there, so that was good.
Okay, so I was saying that I'm not on my AirPods. I'm on Bluetooth, so I think that may be a factor.
And maybe
can you
try
guys hear
going
me
off
now?
the Bluetooth because now I can't hear you again. Which means I also don't know if you're being recorded.
Can you hear me now? Let me see if you can hear me now. I'm sorry.
I can hear you,
Okay.
Daisy, right now, but I don't know if Jerod can.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yes. So whatever's happening now, I can hear you.
Okay, I think it's just maybe the fact that I'm next to a mountain.
Okay, so like I was saying that what I was saying was like you were talking about using sanitation as an example of the services that are out there, sanitation being one of them. For example, I had called them so that they can pick up a dead cat that people didn't know what to do to discard that animal. And so, you know, for example, you call sanitation and they will pick up roadkill or, you know, an animal. So anyways, I think that that's a good idea of what you're putting out there as far as having members of the community get involved and have them get familiar with services and bringing it back and sharing it.
Yes. Okay, great. So again, I don't have, but maybe what we can do, the three of us can do before the next meeting is generate a list, and then we can sort of submit that on the agenda, and then we could narrow down a list of what, and we can discuss this at the next meeting, what we think the good services would be, what the real primary services or main services that the community would need to interface with the most. And, you know, we'll have a month to think about that. So I would move to table it till then with the idea that we'll give this some thought and come up with a list. Any further
Sounds
discussion
good.
on that?
No, I don't have the list. Are we gonna, is there, well, I'll just wait until the next.
Yeah, what I can do is I can circulate to the committee. You know, I'll actually use 311 as a baseline, and then other services as well that come to mind, and then maybe we can have a working document before we get to the next agenda at the next committee meeting. I can circulate that among the four of us, since Annalee's not here. Okay, so we'll table that with some internal communication prior to the next meeting to try to get that going. Item C. Okay, this one. Oh boy. Discussion and possible action of redesign and consolidation of Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council websites. So here is my understanding of how this goes based on my conversation with President Sara. And if this is my understanding of the conversation, if this is incorrect, you know, somebody I'm sure will correct me down the road as they should. But my understanding is that there is this official Empower LA run Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council website. And that's the website that we've seen through the Empower LA site that has, you know, some outdated information. It still feels very peak COVID, very 2020, and services and just items on there that don't just that are important, but some of it seems dated. I find it hard to navigate. It doesn't seem especially clear or particularly user-friendly, to be honest. My understanding is when the newer iteration with this new influx of members on the board came on, another website, which is a leaner, cleaner website, a part that's not hosted on the Empower LA servers or the city servers, came into being as sort of this placeholder website that is easier to navigate and provides some more up-to-date information. I don't think, though, that having two separate websites for the same neighborhood council is a sustainable idea for the long term. As a veteran of many a website overhaul, this is generally a lot more time and undertaking than people realize. But what I would like to do, I see a hand raised from website maintenance, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what I would like to do is figure out a way to put the two together and have a more streamlined way to get information on these sites that are quick. I also think what's an interesting thing we could do with these sites is, we have members of the board, especially on the executive committee, that are phenomenal historians of the history of Lincoln Heights. That honestly, I'm speaking specifically about Sara. Just the institutional knowledge is incredible, and I think there needs to be a permanent, or as permanent as online can be, repository of this information. So I think that's another thing that this website could do, is really serve as a repository for the rich history of the community. With that said, I would like to turn it over to the community for comment. I see website maintenance with a hand raised, so I would ask website maintenance to identify themselves, and you have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Let's see. Now I think I unmuted myself.
Yes, I can hear. We can hear you.
All right. My name is Christina Smith. I'm the one that posts the agendas on your website that is linked to lincolnheightsnc.org.
Okay.
I
Great.
manage that website. I don't get very much input from anybody on the board other than Sara, and sometimes I'll speak with the treasurer, Vincent. I believe his name Vincent.
Yes.
But that is a very old website. I think I came on board with Lincoln Heights about, it could be as long as 10 years ago. And it's a little outdated, and I was talking about updating it, and I just took on another person on my team who does a lot of other WordPress sites for other neighborhood councils. I manage 18 neighborhood councils and 18
Wow.
websites for the neighborhood councils, and we're in the process of going through a vendor RFQ for us to be able to continue on what we're doing. The city keeps changing the rules, but right now I submitted my proposal, and hopefully they'll approve me, because otherwise I've got 18 neighborhood councils who are going to be very upset if I can't continue on with them. But I would like to connect with you guys, because I hear what you're talking, and I've never really had a chance to talk to anyone on Lincoln Heights about the website. That hasn't been anything that anyone's shown any interest in. So I would love to work with you guys. We can make it anything you want it to be.
Okay.
Easy. We do need to upgrade it so that it's a secure site. Right now it's still HTTP and not HTTPS with
I did notice that as well. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes.
Yeah, and I can get that done very quickly. What I should probably do is put a proposal together for your committee to look at for how much it would cost to completely overhaul the site. I think my guy is one of the best prices I've seen. When I've done them for the neighborhood councils and we've changed them to a whole nother platform, it's generally around $1,500. I know he can do it for $500 or maybe even less, because he's already got the basics to work with, and he just needs to do a new template, upgrade the PHP stuff that you guys probably don't know as much about. But let's talk about that and maybe bring you a proposal at your next meeting.
Sure. Now, is this a WordPress based site?
Right now it is, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I think the proposal's fine. It's a little counterintuitive to me, only because I'm not sure how it would be priced until we get a sense on our end of sort of what we would want it to do. So would it be helpful for you, for the committee to discuss, and this might be something we might need to actually take to the board, to discuss what we think the website should be, come up with, well, we should come up with something and take it to the board. But yeah, that we could maybe talk amongst ourselves before the next meeting, get some information to you, and then you could come back with a proposal next month
I think that would be a good idea. If I could get a hold of your email, I could send you links to the websites that I manage right now, so you have something to look at and see if there's things there that are not what Lincoln Heights has that you'd like to incorporate. But definitely what you're saying, it makes the most sense. And that is that we get the committee to say, this is what we want on our website, this is how we want it to look, and then give us that information, and we tell you how much it's going to cost to upgrade it. Because maybe it's only a couple of hours work. Maybe it's
right.
Not that big a deal. We don't have to spend more money than we need to. I'm not a person that likes to pad things. I want stuff to be simple. That's why I've got a lot of clients, because I just do what needs to be done and I don't overcharge. And there's
No, sure. And none of us
want
to spend any more city resources than we need to.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to open it up to the board, or the committee rather. Daisy, I see your hand. You were up first, so.
Just to make sure, Christina, you had mentioned that you were waiting for renewal of your license, or can you reiterate on that?
Yes, I've been with neighborhood councils for 16 years. From 2015 to 2020, we had a 5-year contract. There was, I believe, originally 14 of us vendors that were all that different neighborhood councils could pick from, and we were the official ones. You couldn't use anyone outside that list. And then that list started to dwindle as people closed businesses or whatever. And so the city decided from 2020 to 2022 to just utilize anybody as long as they got a contract with the city. So we've been doing that for 2 years. And now the department, the city clerk's office has decided they want contracts again, and they're going to do, I believe, another 5-year contract. So if you don't get approved for that contract and they make a list that you're the only people that neighborhood councils can use, they would shut us all down, which would make a lot of people upset, because then you have to go with another vendor. But I don't see why they wouldn't approve me, considering how long I've been working with them and they know me. The city clerk's office knows me, and the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment knows me, and they've always had a good rapport with me. So I'm hoping everything goes smooth, but you just never know with the city if some glitch is in there. So once that's supposed to be approved this month, and then the new contracts would go into effect in January. So this is all plays into what we're doing with wanting to upgrade Lincoln Heights. I'm in the middle of working with Arroyo Seco now, updating their website. And I'm launching Atwater Village as well. So we've got a lot of stuff going on.
So you will be able to like keep us updated on whether you were approved or not, right?
Oh,
and not
course.
just like
Of
disappear on us.
course. If for some
great.
reason, yes, if for some reason they didn't approve me, if that happened, then I would have to refer you to somebody else that I could work with to give them all the information they need to get into the site and do whatever they need to do. But in the meantime, I would love for you guys to send me more content for the website. That would be great.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. Okay, Melanie, is your hand just still up from before, or do you have?
No, I raised it again.
Okay.
Thanks. Hi, Christina. Thanks for finding us at the meeting today. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I was going to ask, could you like refer us to a couple of websites that you are maintaining that you feel are functioning well? So thanks for offering to do that. And then, yeah, Jerod, I think if we like motion to ask the board to put this on our agenda, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but yeah, I'd love like a board discussion and possible action on like what we would want to tell Christina to do. I think that's definitely the next step. I completely agree.
Okay, so maybe what we can do, I'm trying to just think procedurally, sorry, lawyer brain kicking in. I'm just trying to think procedurally how the best way to do this is as far as the committee is. Maybe what we should do is
Jerod, if I may.
yes.
Most of the other websites that I've worked on all started in committee. The committees were the ones that kind of made a few, talked amongst themselves, decided what they thought would be good, just as a starting point. And then we would present, like, for example, we might even present a sample or something to the board.
I think with this information, what we might need to do, and I know this is a little cumbersome, but did you say that you're finding out about your contract this month or next month? Or
This month. I thought I would have known by now, but this month.
Okay, so maybe what we can do is what I propose to the committee is that we table this item with the idea, again, that the four of us on the committee, me, Melanie, Daisy, and Annalee, will communicate and circulate a document just about what we think might be needed for the site. And then either we put it on our committee agenda for January, at which point we'll know whether or not you have the contract again, or if we really want to get going, we can call a special meeting just for the purpose of discussing the website. So any discussion about tabling this with the idea that we'll circulate a document amongst ourselves and then bring that back to a public committee meeting to present to ourselves and the public, and then take that to the board if we approve it. Is there any objection to that?
No. Can I just add something?
Please,
If we do have a general board meeting prior to when our next time getting together would be, can I just suggest that we do bring it up to the general board, just because we are such a tiny committee, and I know we're a tiny council right now as well because we're missing so many seats, but I do want to give, I understand what you're saying, Christina. I appreciate like us coming up with the plan and presenting it to the board, but I would just like to give the board a heads up, because like what you mentioned, Jerod, we have like this plethora of people with these, like Sara with her history skills, like I would just like to at least let them know the plan. So if anyone's like, yes, hey, I really would like to see this on the website, that we're not going in circles. You know what I mean?
So ideally, and I do agree with some of the I mean, this is a little in the weeds, so forgive me. So I agree conceptually. I guess my question for you, because you've been on the board much longer than I have, is do you think that as the committee, if we can encourage people to come to the committee to discuss what they would want on the website, and we can
that would be far ideal,
rather than not doing it during the general board meeting? That I'm trying to have the committee do what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Does that make sense?
That would be much more ideal, 100%. Are we able to I'm still unclear on the rules, even though I've been on the council for over a year. Sandy, get out of there. Sorry, dogs and babies are not a good mix. Are we allowed to email the board and ask them for how do we? I think
what we have to do, I mean, the bylaws are,
I know,
something. I think what we have to do is make an announcement that we're going to have a special website committee meeting, and then it's on everybody to show up, and we can maybe set that in the next few weeks.
Perfect.
Committee
announcements. It's perfect.
I'm sorry, what's that, Daisy?
Oh, I was just saying. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, someone was speaking right now, but I do want to comment that, really quick. We could just put it. We could ask for the general meeting to put that discussion for informational purposes only.
Hey, Daisy. I think Jerod might be, I think he might not be able to hear you again, but just, I want to just explain something real quick that may not, you may not know if you're not going to a lot of council meetings. There is a time at the beginning of our general board meetings where there are committee announcements. And what he's proposing is during that time, instead of making it an item on our agenda for the general board, we just as a committee make an announcement saying, this is the plan, this is what we're doing, and please come to our meeting so we can discuss, what everyone would like.
Yes. That sounds great. Can you hear me now?
Yes, this is perfect.
That's an
Okay,
excellent
great.
idea.
Yeah, and I think that way we can just bring it back into the committee, have a vote, and then take that to the board once everybody's had a chance to chime in. Okay, so we'll do that, and then I think, yeah, we'll bring that. We'll just make that announcement at the next meeting. Okay, great. And then it'll give everybody some time to chime in. We'll know if the contract for the website is renewed and for the web provider is renewed and everything else. So anything further on this from anybody in the community or on the board? Okay, hearing nothing, we are going to move on. Thank you so much for coming and introducing yourself, and we will certainly be in touch. And if you could, I don't know if there's a way in the chat I can give you my email address or all of our email. I don't think I think I need to make an email for the committee.
Yeah, I don't think the chat is open right now.
Oh, it's not
I can't
available.
see it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to give you my email address and then I can forward it on to the other committee members.
okay.
It's Jerod, Jerod
Mhm.
dot LHNC
Mhm.
at gmail.com.
Perfect.
So yeah, please send me your info. I'll forward it to the rest of the committee, and then we'll be in touch and go from there. Thank you so
right.
much for taking the time on a Saturday morning.
You're welcome. I saw it on the agenda. I thought I'd better check.
I appreciate it. That's great. Thank you. We all thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to there was some item 4 subsection D, discussion on service ideas for the community. Daisy, I don't know if you had brought up the idea of parenting classes. I don't know if that was you or someone else.
I did.
Great.
I brought
Do you
up the
discuss on that?
1 and 3 on the agenda.
Okay, great.
So for like the parenting classes, I'm like thinking there's an instructor, she's a doctor, and she provides parenting classes at low cost. And if people cannot afford it, like I think it's like $10 or $15, maybe 20 at this point because of the inflation we're having. But she's a really good instructor and she gives good pointers. And I personally think it's very different from other parenting classes that I've taken. So I think that can be an asset to the community. And she speaks Spanish, which will benefit the Lincoln Heights community. She currently, her name is Dr. Ogas, and she's with Becky's Angels. That's her organization. And she actually gives parenting classes on 6th Street in Spanish and at Rampart Police Station on Saturday mornings. But because of the pandemic, she's on Zoom for the time being. And so I did reach out to her to see if she would be willing and available to like do parenting for Lincoln Heights. And she's totally willing. Her question is if it would be in person and if we have a location. Those were the questions that she asked me. And of course, I'm bringing that back to this service, this committee. So I don't know. That's one idea.
Okay. Any community discussion on this? Okay, no, I don't see any community hands raised. Any committee discussion on this? Melanie, do you have anything to say about this? I think you're muted.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't come up. Yeah, I love the idea of parenting classes. My focus, my mind always is going to guys, almost services for people with animals, from a standpoint of everyone having access to be able to have an animal, and then also from a public health standpoint, just our relationship with them. So I don't know if it's like services to the unhoused community and their animals, or just in general in Lincoln Heights. I know we have a lot of like quote unquote stray dogs that really do have homes, and maybe just outreach on like how to properly like confine them, or like anti-tethering conversations, that kind of stuff. But that I gotta think about it more. I'm not really conceptualized yet. No, get down.
Okay. So
yeah.
that's great. I'm sorry, I should have been clear. I was on the sticking to the
Texas Angels?
agenda item on the parenting classes. If you had any
Okay, I'm
comments.
so sorry. I didn't know if it was
The
just
animal
on that
ideas.
or the.
I think what you're
agenda
proposing
item.
is great. I think what you're
Okay.
proposing is great. Yeah.
Yes, parenting classes I think are a great idea. I would want just like everything that we do on the neighborhood council to open that opportunity up to the community, if there are other community members who do offer parenting classes, and then us as a committee or board deciding who would do those parenting classes, just to make that even equitable. But yeah, I really love that idea in general.
Yes, I do too. And I agree that if there's people that we should obviously first open it up. Daisy, if your contact is willing to do it, that's terrific. I think the committee would also, we all agree, we would need to see sort of what are these parenting classes? What does it entail? Right. I can tell you that in my professional work, you know, with youth, you know, there's all kinds of parenting classes, and some are very different than others.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be sure that what we're offering is consistent with what is needed for the community. And that's obviously something that we would have to vote on and then take to the board. So Daisy, would you be able to get maybe some more information about her approach or what exactly the class entails? And then we can bring that back at the next meeting. I think it's a terrific idea. I really do. And especially if she's already doing it, that's great.
Would you like for me to invite her to one of our subcommittees?
If she could come to the next meeting, that would be great. We can put that on the agenda.
Great.
Thank you.
I will reach out in reference to having her attend the next one. Thank you so much. And just to clarify for everybody out there that I want to reiterate on what Melanie said, if there are any other public members of the community that have references or ideas, that'd be great if they too can put it on the table so that we can have more options. You know, because we're not restrained to just one. This is just one who's willing and able. But if we have others, that'd be great too, to hear from them and see which one's better.
Great, thank you. That's terrific. Okay, and then 2, youth outreach, but I think 2 and 3 sort of the same. So Daisy, you said you had some ideas about item D3, which is Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yes. I've used that program myself for my kids and they've thrived. And I too reached out to one of the program specialists, and she is also willing and able to join one of our meetings to discuss what that program entails, what type of, you can't hear me, huh?
I can hear you.
What that program entails and what type of services they are able to provide, because they have one-on-one, big brother, big sister. They have on-site for schools, I think it is. So anyhow, they have more than just one program in particular, but it is under that same umbrella of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So they can provide more information. However, one thing that she did mention was that they are in need of actual volunteers to be the big brother or big sister. And that's not new. They've had that issue for quite some time now. But anyways, yes, I can also let her know if she can. And she said that she can provide us flyers. But I can let her know if she can join us next meeting and see. And let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Oh, all right, that would be great. Thank you. Yes, if you could invite her to the next meeting, we'll get that on the agenda. That would be great. So I think that is the agenda for now, and I think this was productive. We have some things to do. So item 5, future items. Any comments from the committee or on any future items other than what we've already discussed?
Do we want to decide who will bring up during the announcement at our next meeting? So
oh yeah, we can do that. We can, I don't know. I any one of us can do it.
Jerod will.
You can do it. Daisy, you can do it if you're going to be at the next tonight's board meeting.
Jared, you,
All right,
Jared.
I will.
Daisy just volunteered you, Jerod. So
All right, so I guess I'm
Yes.
voluntold. I will do it. Yeah, I'll bring it up. And then what I will also do before we adjourn, I will. I'm going to actually play this back, get the minutes down, and then sort of also turn that into a action item.
Oh, awesome.
For all of us. So I'll need a couple days on that, but I will get that out to everybody. And then I'll submit that to the minutes to the board as well.
Thanks for doing that, Jerod.
Yeah, sure.
That's
And
a
I
big
think
deal.
I think this is a good start. I like that we have some good concrete things that we can start to get rolling on. So with that said, with no further discussion, item 6, I am moving to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, and to a vote, motion to adjourn. We can do a voice vote. Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Daisy.
Aye.
All right. It is 10:50 a.m. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
See-
Daisy. Bye,
Bye.
Thank you,
Jerod.
Melanie, guys. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.